All right, so jumping right in to our learning objectives. So our first learning objective is for you to be able to plan, post, and increase your engagement. And we also want to walk you through how to download your insights and your analytics from your social media. Then we're going to walk through final reports, which is really tailored toward our funded partners specifically. And then if we have time, we're going to talk about the social media kit that we provided our funded partners, as well as a little bit on how to create really engaging graphics for social media in Canva. So let's jump right in with an icebreaker. And so this is a social media exchange icebreaker. And so we encourage you to write your organization's name and your social media handle in the chat. And then as the handles populate, we invite you to hop onto your social media profiles and add and follow some of these amazing organizations that are here with us on the call. So this is like social media networking 101, if you will.
Okay, we see one popping up. We want some more. There we go. Yes. So I see on Foundations for Living, if you could add the actual social media handle. Here we go.
This is great. I'm gonna try to follow as many as I can.
So as you all are sharing, part of the probably the biggest lesson that you'll ever take away from this social media training is that if you have a network of other organizations or accounts that you follow, you all can create like a collective that where you comment on each other's posts and share each other's content, and then that helps you boost your own content as well. So if you see somebody posted, a page that you follow posted on social media, go in and comment on it and say, wow, that's a great post, or thank you for the insight, or something like that. Or if someone shares something for you, to say thank you for sharing or something like that. So social media, Instagram, Facebook, especially Instagram and Facebook, really try to organically boost posts where they have engagement. So people who like, share, comment on those posts as if you're your actual friends. And so, they're trying to mimic friendships and real life interaction. And so this is a great way for us to get started, is to share each other's social media handles and follow each other.
Absolutely.
And we should add ours. So y'all make sure y'all follow us as well. There we go. Faith Compass WFU.
Awesome. All right, so we're following those social media profiles as they come up in the chat. All right, so we're going to give you a bit of an overview on our social media objectives for our center as an example of the type of objectives and strategies you can build for yourself on your social media. So as a part of our social media strategy, our 5 objectives are to decolonize, to storytell, to resource, to inform, and to transform. And so from that, we have curated the following hashtag, which is transforming the story. And so this is sort of the overarching ongoing campaign we have throughout all of our content on social media for our center. And so these are some of the goals that we have and how we measure them and plan to reach them. So there's engagement, reach, recognition, and influence. And as you can see beneath each one, we plan on measuring those, or we are measuring those really through comments, likes, and shares. That's how we measure our engagement. We're measuring our reach through our views, our impressions, our shares on social media. We're measuring our recognition through our mentions, our tags, and our page visits. And then our influence through website clicks, the signups, and the registrations that we get. I know we had a handful of people who were able to register for this training based on the analytics we've received back about website clicks and signups from our social media posts. So now that we've given you an example of what that looks like, we are wanting you to walk through your own story and your own themes for your organization through social media. And we're going to do this through breakout rooms that are going to be randomly assigned momentarily. And we want you to pick your top 5 themes for your organizational story. So who are you? Who are your followers? What are they searching for? What is your expertise? And how do you want to be in community? And so before we hop into the breakout rooms, I invite you to take a moment to either screenshot this, take a picture with your cell phone, write it down so that you have it when we are in the breakout rooms. Take a moment to grab that, and I am going to start.
We're going to also add it to the chat so you have a copy. There you go. So you all should have a copy of those questions. And so part of you answering those questions is being able to pick themes. Like when we chose the theme decolonize, we were thinking about our perspective on faith and HIV, thinking about how commonly we hear messages, from sacred texts that are, kind of denigrating people living with HIV or denigrating LGBT or denigrating women. But we want to kind of take a deeper dive into what cultural and historical factors shaped the way that people interpreted those texts to then subjugate and marginalize certain group members of our community based on kind of social status, right? Racial status, heterosexual status, et cetera, right? And creating these arbitrary kind of hierarchies. So that's our goal, right? Is if that's our big picture framework for how we are developing our messaging, that's one theme that we're using, and thinking about who we are and what our expertise is, we're using decolonization as a part of our theme. So that's just to give you an example of how we want you to think about answering these questions and coming up with your 5 themes for your social media.
All right, so you should start receiving an invitation to your rooms momentarily.
noticed that, you all, some of you are in the process of rebranding, which is great, thinking about not only who you have been, but who do you want to be, and how social media and this kind of communication strategy can help you rebrand yourself. So I think that's awesome. And then also thinking about, who are the followers that you have versus the followers that you want to have, right? Debbie, you have anything you want to add?
I think there was great, robust discussion happening as you thought through these questions. And I'm just excited for the work everyone's doing.
Yeah, so make sure that you, Alicia says, not enough time. Yeah, I know. But I think it can get your feet wet in thinking about who you are. Maybe take some time on your own to brainstorm on these questions, and or talking to your organization about these questions, right? And thinking about what your themes are that will guide your posts and your content. Because, a lot of times people think, well, I don't have enough content to share on social media. I don't understand how people post every day. But when you're thinking about from an organizational perspective, there's a lot of content that you can share about telling people who you are. You have to think about it as not only sharing the content just for information purposes or like sharing flyers, but also telling that story of who you are as an organization. So, our most recent popular posts were doing features of all the new staff members. And then they got to share that with their networks. And we had over 1,000 people see each one of those posts individually. And we only have 58 followers. So, that kind of shows you that people really do care about not only who you are as an organization, but who you are as people in the space who are working in the organization. Yeah. And the people you're working with.
And keep in mind that some of this will have to pivot a little bit, like the question about what are your followers searching for, that will change over time. And so staying up to date on those things can help you pivot and market your story in new and exciting ways on social media.
Yes. All right, so tips for online engagement. I think this is continuing with that conversation about what are your followers kind of coming to your page for. I think a lot of times when we think about social media, we think about it as this like place to store all of our flyers or to tell people about different events, but really it's about relationship and connection. And those are the things that really boost, organically boost posts. And when I say organic, meaning you don't pay to promote your ad, right? You're actually just organically, people see your content online, they like it, they share it, they comment. And so the most popular content that people are looking for on all of the platforms, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook, are images. So images and video are going to be the most popular. So I would encourage, even if you didn't want to post pictures of yourself or other staff members, posting, you could even find images online, and we'll give you, I think we have a little tutorial on where to find free, royalty-free images that you can download and add to your content, and then have, so sometimes we'll even just have an image and then the content may or may not be related. I mean, we try to make sure the image is related to the content, but the content could be about an upcoming event, but then it's just an image. And so people are going to pay attention to that image and then they'll read the caption, right? And then, so there are some other ways that you can engage. Hashtags are really a big deal. They can help promote and boost your posts organically as well. So thinking about hashtags, it also ties into like, what are your followers searching for? So we know our followers are searching for faith, image, and also because that's who we are, right? We are the Faith Coordinating Center. So we are going to be creating content about faith. So we're imagining that our followers are going to be searching for content about faith. It may not necessarily have anything to do with HIV, but they're looking for, so they'll be searching for hashtag faith, right? Or hashtag Jesus or hashtag God or something like that, right? Or motivation or inspiration, right? And inspirational quotes. So they'll look for that hashtag, but you can use that hashtag to add to like whatever your content is that you posted. But in addition to that, we've created our own hashtag, Faith Compass WFU, which matches our handle, Faith Compass WFU, so that we can then go to that hashtag and find every bit of content. So say you all post something from us, we'll be able to see that by going to our hashtag and seeing everybody who shared something related to Faith Compass WFU, if you use that hashtag. So that's really the kind of purpose. It's like a quick way to Google something on social media, basically. Invitation to comment. So a lot of times, instead of just posting a picture, you pose a question to your audience to encourage them to engage with the content. Or you can run a contest, right? So I've actually done this quite a bit for HIV related work. You would think, how would you run a contest for HIV? Well, we have pins and bags and swag that we like, that we could easily give away, that encourages people to, share our post, like and tag it, and then tag other followers that they think might also benefit from the content. And then, or you can partner with local businesses. I've partnered with local businesses who've given away gift cards for dinners, or even I got a free hotel room for a contest that I did. And then that was because we're connected. At that time, I was working for UNC Chapel Hill. They got free kind of publicity and saying that they were in partnership with the university, right? So that's another way that you can boost your content and get people interested in a topic like faith or HIV that they normally wouldn't be interested in. Polls and Facebook posts are another great way to increase engagement. So on Facebook, you can just go to the status update, and I think there is a drop-down menu that shows where you can add polls, and you can ask people questions or like their opinion about something. It can be something as small as, do you like this t-shirt design versus that t-shirt design? Or all the way up to something more complex, like, how do you trust the COVID-19 vaccine? And then they answer the poll. And then you can also encourage them to comment on why they voted the way they did. So that increases engagement. It opens up conversation. You can also do that in Instagram stories. They have a feature that you can put a poll in your story. And so, and we'll go into, because I know some of you all are like, what's a story and all of that stuff. We'll go into those things. But, it's just examples of how you can, or for example, we have, which we need to do, is do a poll. We're going to do a poll before we go too deep into additional content. We want to do a poll with you all, which you can also do in Zoom, right? To gauge, like say you already have survey questions that you already had prepared. Maybe you use one of those survey questions and put it on social media and ask people to answer the poll. Town hall discussions, I think a lot of you all have seen those during social media, during COVID-19. A lot of people talking about COVID-19 online. You can do that for HIV as well. You can do that for faith conversations. And then reels, we're going to go dive deeper into. Reels are like short videos that have become really popular kind of content. And the reason why we're focusing on reels for this workshop is because Instagram has announced that they will prioritize accounts that have created reels, and then they will naturally boost that content, and it makes it easier for people to find your account without ever having followers. And then page takeovers, Instagram page takeovers. So say you have a partnership with we at Faith Coordinating Center are partnered with all of our funded partners, and we call on Interfaith Youth Corps. So we could give them our account login. You can create an account, a dummy account login, and then they can take over our social media for the day and invite all of their followers to come follow our page so they can see where they're highlighting their a day in the life of Interfaith Youth Corps, and then answering maybe 2 or 3 questions throughout the day that they're posting on social media through our stories to boost engagement.
So I just want to say a word about
You're muted. We lost you.
Oh, go ahead.
I wanted to add why online engagement with social media is so important. And that's because social media platforms these days are algorithm based. And so just posting your content on your social media profiles does not guarantee that your audience will actually see any of your content. And so the higher your engagement rate, the more those algorithms are going to put those posts in front of your audience. So it actually increases your reach over time as you increase your engagement. So that's why it's so important, because it's algorithm run. Everyone that follows you is not guaranteed to see your posts, but the more engagement you have on a post, the better it's going to do, the more success you're going to have in reaching all of your, not all of your followers, but more of your followers. So that's one of the reasons this is so important.
So if you ever notice, you go on Facebook and you post a status update or you share a picture or something, and then you get no likes or no comments on it, and you're like, I have 1,000 people who I'm friends with, and how come nobody liked my post? It's because there was no engagement on it, right? They didn't have, nobody liked it, nobody commented on it. And it really is important within, I think, the first 30 minutes of posting something, that it should have some type of engagement, somebody liking or commenting on it, in order for more people in your network to see it. So it's biased in that way. So let's do the poll that we were supposed to do earlier, assessing people's knowledge. So Demi is about to launch a poll. Oh, I'm doing it. Okay, I'm going to launch the poll, and I want you to answer these 4 questions. So even if you're not on social media, I think this is a way, like a lot of you, I'm sure, are hosting a lot of online conferences and meetings and things like this. The poll is a great way for you to kind of break up this constant talking and lecturing to gauge, people's kind of, where it's people's knowledge, and get them paying attention. Because a lot of times people will turn on the Zoom and then walk away. So we want everybody to know these are interactive sessions and we need you involved. So polls are a great way to do that. Awesome. Thank you so much for participating. So do I end poll? And then I'm going to share the results with you all. So it looks like some of you have some knowledge about social media and about social media analytics, but it looks like a lot of you feel like, okay, there's a lot to learn here. So, and then also how to do storytelling. We're definitely going to help you all with that as well. Awesome.
All right, so jumping into another interactive activity. So we want to do an exercise on social media engagement. So with this, we want you to log into your Twitter or your Facebook or your Instagram account. And after you do that, we would like for you to post the following prompts or post. I'm transforming the story with hashtag Faith Compass WFU. Learn more at bit.ly/Faith Compass workshops.
So that the bit.ly is basically a shortened URL, a shortened website. The website is like super long and complicated, but you can shorten links, especially for social media, by going to bit.ly, and it'll make it easier for you can like customize links. So make sure to add a photo because those are more likely to be engaged.
So are we supposed to
Drop
like
it.
highlight this and then put it on there?
Yeah,
Or just,
so
okay,
I'm gonna type it so you can copy and paste.
thank you.
Sure. All right, so we're gonna check out your social media, see if it starts popping up. We're gonna go to our hashtag so you can see that it'll start popping up on the hashtag.
This is a stupid question, but you're talking about going on Instagram, right? It can't be done through Facebook.
You can do it on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter.
Oh, okay.
And no questions are stupid.
Oh, thank you. I feel really inadequate at this point.
Well, and I know a lot of these terminology is brand new to a lot of you all. For some of our funded partners had the advantage of having some reading materials, and we will send some reading materials out to everyone who's registered so that you also have some articles and other kind of concrete tools to help you with this. But this is just to give you like high level overview workshop. Awesome. So you can see that we're already starting to see people posting that Samuel DeWitt Proctor Conference shared. We have PHW Health and Wholeness. Wonderful. So you see how quickly it pops up. It's immediate. And you can use these for meetings as well. So, like this meeting, if you want to increase engagement during a panel discussion, you give them the hashtag and then ask people to take notes on using your hashtag, or talking about like, wow, that speaker had a really powerful comment. I just learned a lot from them, and then use the hashtag. So keep going with the sharing of your posts. And we're about to keep it moving. I'm gonna keep seeing who else continues to post, and then we'll share your content on our page as well.
Absolutely. All right.
Okay, so Reels. Oh, yeah. Do y'all have any questions? We want to take a break and ask questions, clarification, because I know that was a lot of information.
Did you see mine yet, Dr. Matthews?
I can't see who was speaking, so can you know?
It's me, Sandy.
Oh, okay. Let's see here. And which platform did you post on?
I highlighted all of that. I'm transferring this story with Faith Compass. I highlighted all of that and just put it in.
Put it on Facebook?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Just to see if I'm doing it correctly.
I see one from Dr. Jones, from Alicia Diggs, from Samuel DeWitt Proctor Conference, Susan K. Smith, Partners in Health and Wellness, Esther Ross, Project Transitions. I have not seen one from you, Sandy.
I said I'm gonna try again. Thank you.
I'm noticing you just have to refresh, because when I did it, when I clicked on the hashtag, mine didn't show up, and I did it again, then it showed up. So
Thank
Sandy,
you.
you may have to do it twice.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Okay, so any other questions?
Alrighty,
All right, let's keep it moving.
let's do it.
Okay, so reels. So we're laughing because we tried our first reel today, and the reels are okay. So a lot of people, I don't know, maybe some of you have seen TikTok videos or heard of TikTok. Instagram is kind of trying to be competitive with TikTok by creating a mechanism for you to have these short videos that allow you to do dances or share, different content. So we tried our first Instagram reel. It is a little bit labor intensive. I will have to say that. So I think it would be something that somebody is like good at editing things on their phone. But it is something that will naturally boost your social media accounts without having to pay for promotion. So, Instagram Reels are, and I included, so we'll be sharing this PowerPoint. So I'm not going to go through every single thing that's on here, but I do have links to a tutorial video on how to create an Instagram reel that you can check out on the top left-hand side. And these are tips. And then this is a link to an article that gives you deeper dive information on how to create different reels that showcase different parts of your content. So this is also just like another tool in the toolbox on how to tell your story about who you are, right? So introducing yourself, showing the process. So like maybe you had a before and after. People even care about like things like you redecorating your office. I know it sounds like it's not related to your story, but it is, because it's about you being real. Hence putting it on Instagram Reels. You can do tips and tricks. So for ours, we decided to, we have what you call like 5 tips for faith leaders on using sacred text to talk about sex, right? So that's something you could do as a tips and tricks for an Instagram reel. You could have it as like a static post where you just create the post and you put it on your account, but then you could also turn it into a video. So we are not in the business of recreating the wheel, right? If we already have content, you can repurpose it in different ways for different platforms. So you don't need to have different content for each platform. You just download that video and post it on Facebook, download that video and post it on YouTube, right? You do a panel discussion, download the video from Zoom, post it on Facebook and YouTube, right? So, or cut up that video or edit that video from YouTube and then put it on Instagram. So we're not in the business of recreating the wheel there. So reels, make them entertaining and fun, grab people's attention. They tend to be funny, but you also could just I mean, they're about 30 seconds to a minute long. People have very short attention spans on social media. So 30 seconds to a minute is the maximum that you really want to do. Make it inspiring. A lot of people are looking for content that's, you know, motivational or inspiring. They will always reshare that kind of stuff. You know, you can add in text and filters and camera effects. You can add in, you want to make sure that it's vertical video. So what we mean by vertical is, and you see my little cute little cousins on my phone. Okay, so you know, vertical versus horizontal. When you're recording, you want it to be vertical. So because it automatically formats for vertical video. Use music. They already have music that is free and available from Instagram that you can use. And yeah, just try to experiment. And so this is the type of content that you can share. So we are going to give you an example. Okay, so this is the one that we just posted today. So it just repeats over and over again. And then, so we, you know, did what did Jesus say about sex? And then for National Faith and HIV Awareness Day is coming soon. Follow Faith Compass for more content about faith and health. And then we used, like we mentioned, those different hashtags to kind of boost the post. So this was also kind of an experiment for us to see, you know, how much engagement we were going to get from it. And I don't think you can see the analytics from your computer, but when we look at the analytics on our phone, we can see that it already, we posted it what time? 11 o'clock Eastern time, so about 4 or 5 hours, and it's reached 206 accounts. It's been played 220 times. It's been liked 9 times and shared 1 time. So that's, you know, the content is able to be shared and quickly kind of become popular without having to do much. Stop sharing.
And I would encourage you, you have an Instagram profile, the best way to understand Instagram Reels is to consume Instagram Reels. And so Instagram is really pushing this forward. And so if you go onto your Instagram home screen, the bottom center button will take you directly to the Reels page, and you can get lost in there for hours looking at these short videos. But I highly suggest, if you want to get a feel for the way you can create this content, is to actually view it and interact with some of the reels that people have already posted out there for the world to see. So, as we sort of think about how we are going to continue to embark upon Instagram Reels, we are planning on doing Instagram Reels campaign highlighting all of our funded partners and the amazing work that you're doing. So we would like to take a few minutes for you to provide us these answers in the chat so that we can create some real content that puts a spotlight on your amazing work. So what is your message to people living with HIV in 5 words or less? So this is an exercise on being concise and brief. How did you get involved with HIV and faith work? And that one in 10 words or less. And then what are 3 ways people can get involved with the work of your organization? And you can put that in bullet points.
So this is not just for funded partners. I mean, we want everybody in the who's attending right now to participate in this exercise. And also, we're giving you examples of different social media content, but we're also going to be doing quite a bit of work to, engage and boost engagement and highlight stories from each one of you. So that's why we're asking you to share your responses to these questions. So what's your message to people living with HIV? And I think not just like, that we want it to be, messages about what would you tell someone who's been living with HIV for a long time and who maybe has struggled with their faith? Or what message would you give to people who are, newly diagnosed and struggling with the stigma around that? So that's the kind of response we're looking for. So feel free to put it in the chat.
Can I ask a quick question? This is Johnny Cornegay with CNP.
Yes.
Hey, so this is, I love this exercise. I actually took a screenshot. I think, this is one of those questions, I think, for me that would require a little more thought. And I would even partner with like our comms team on how to best communicate some responses. So I guess my question is if we're thinking about a reel or a campaign, do you recommend, like in some cases, that you involve your comms team or your, whoever might be responsible for that messaging to help you to make sure that it speaks to everything that you want to communicate?
Most definitely. I mean, everything we're going over right now, we have regular brainstorming sessions about content, about messaging with our center. And we definitely encourage you all to do that, as well as we hosted listening sessions with people living with HIV, with faith-based organizational leaders, as well as our advisory board, to also get their feedback and their thoughts. So this is definitely this is a brief exercise on something that you can do on a larger scale and on a more consistent basis.
Thank you so much, Dr. Matthews.
Mm-hmm. I love it. You are a spiritual being. Love is welcome. Love and welcome is here. I love that. We're here for you. You are loved and you belong. Your life matters. These are so beautiful. We see you. Y'all gonna make me cry. Okay, so how did you all get involved in HIV and faith work? Mm-hmm. God loves people living with HIV. Yeah, see, y'all are already, you just have the natural instinct. This lived experience in my spiritual path, volunteer, advocate, support. You matter. You are loved unconditionally. God loves people. Oh, I read that one. Stay strong, lean on your faith. These are amazing. So go ahead and add in, how did you get involved with HIV and faith work if you haven't already added that? I know, so Demi is the one who did the word limit. I know that makes it harder. Y'all just answer the question. We'll work on the word limit. So what we're thinking is also like, as you all are adding this content, right? And so for example, you are strength and grace. Maybe we create a reel with that message and have a song behind it. And, it doesn't always have to be like a live video recording. You can also download pictures or create like a little slideshow that sends that message. So, those are different ways. Or it could be like a little dance where it's like, you're loved unconditionally. You matter. We love you. You are strength and grace, right? And so we point to different ones.
Can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
Hey, sorry, I'm not but anyway, do you know Animoto?
No.
I've heard of
So
it.
Animoto is really easy. You can make it on your phone. You can put music to it. It's an app. You can use it on your computer, and there's a free version that's 30 seconds where you can make a little video to music, and you can put words and pictures and everything. And I just kind of want to shout out for Animoto, because as you're talking about this, I think that could be a really easy tool for us to make some short videos and put them on as our reel.
Great. Thank you so much. I just put the link in the chat for people. Animoto.com. And there's a lot of different tools like that out there that are free. Instagram is also free, to use, but Instagram is not as user-friendly as other platforms. So you could use other platforms like Animoto, download it, and then post it on Instagram and turn it into a reel. So yes, I love that suggestion. All right, so we're gonna,
Awesome.
you wanna move on?
Let's do it. Thank you all. These are great.
Okay, so this is where we're gonna dive, and bear with me because this is gonna be an intense section of the that we finished with the storytelling piece of it, and now we're going into analytics. How do you know that everything that you're doing is successful? How do you know that people are actually engaging with your content, and that it's reaching the audience that you want it to reach? So the easiest way to manage both Facebook and Instagram at the same time. So Facebook actually owns Instagram. And so now Facebook has created a business platform that allows your organization to manage and plan out posts and download analytics and all of that stuff and create ads through the business.facebook.com. So once I have screenshots in here, but then I'll go back and we'll do a live demonstration. So if you don't already have a Facebook page, which I hope most of you do, but if you don't, you go to business.facebook.com and create a new Facebook page. You can see on this left-hand side where it has pages, when you go to business.facebook.com, it'll show pages, and then a pop-up will say create a new page. And then it allows you to, next slide, it allows you to create that new page. And you can also connect, if you already have an Instagram account that's created, you connect it, you just click on the, so you see on the left-hand side, it says accounts, pages, add accounts, business, asset groups, apps, and then Instagram account. So you click on the Instagram account and it allows you to connect, log in to your Instagram account. You have to create your Instagram account. You have to actually go to download the Instagram app on your phone to create a new Instagram account if you don't already have one. Okay. Next slide. So with this Facebook, this business Facebook, it, yes, they will be available for reference. So with this business Facebook, you can, it has an ads manager. So the benefit of running ads on Facebook, and it allows you to run it both on Facebook and on Instagram, is that you, it doesn't cost a lot of money to pay for promoting your posts. So you could promote an event like these workshops. We paid to promote this event. You can pay to promote a specific message or campaign that you're trying to get out. And you can actually get quite a bit of impact with as little as $10 to $20 in a couple of days. I typically like to run my ads for at least a week, because that allows it for time for people to see it and then increase that engagement. And then, and you can also set the ad so that it's based on how many clicks on a website link, or how many follows for a new page followers do you have. So you can set it, it'll only charge you for the actual success in someone clicking on the link. So you run ads on Facebook and Instagram, and you can also set up a budget, right? So that you make sure that it doesn't go over a certain budget. You can add people from your organization to have access to the settings of your page to do the following: run ads, schedule posts, manage comments, and host online events. So you go to the ads manager, click next. And then in the ads manager, you see this drop-down menu under users. There's people that you click on, that people, and then you have to be friends with them on Facebook in order to be able to add them to your Facebook page as a manager. And then it gives them access to both the Facebook page and the Instagram account. But you can also control what they can and cannot do on the back end. And then in addition, you can pull analytics. So when we mean analytics, you can pull in statistics and download statistics on your engagement of your social media pages. So on our social media, I'm just showing a screenshot of, over the last month. And also caveat, we just started this Instagram or this Facebook and Instagram account within the last month, right? So within the last month, we had over 1,700 people who saw any post from our page go down their timeline, or saw it on their phone, or saw it on their computer, right? So you can customize the amount of time that you want analytics. This is very useful for reporting back to us so that we can report it to Gilead, but also it helps boost your credibility when you're going to apply for grants. I always include the numbers that we have on our social media accounts, because then it shows that you are reaching and engaging with people, and that strengthens your grant applications. So it gives you information about, how many people have seen your content, and gives you specific days and times. You can click on this there on the top right-hand side. There's an export button. So you can download it as a CSV file, which is the same as an Excel spreadsheet. You can download it as a picture or a PDF. I always download it as a CSV file, because then I can copy and paste, or add and subtract, and do things with the numbers to do things with the numbers on Excel and turn them into reports and things like that. You can also drill down to the specific post so like, say you want to see, we shared a post about our new employee, Marcus Holly, who's on the call today. And so when we want to see, okay, how well did that post do as opposed to the other ones, you see that we had 773 people who saw the content. We had 79 likes and reactions, 25 comments, and 2 shares. So, and 65 link clicks, which is great because then that means that there were 65 people who went to our website. And so that's called conversion, from social media converting to another platform like a website. You can also use that to increase people on your email listserv, that conversion rate, or even selling products, which is what this is mostly used for. And then it also gives you information about, who your followers are, how many women, how many men, what age groups. It gives you information about the cities that they're coming from. And this information is also useful for you when you're creating your ads, because you can customize. I only want the ad to show within a 25-mile radius of Winston-Salem, or 10-mile radius. I only want it to be shown among women age 45 to 54. I only want it to be shown among people who like hip hop music, right? So you can customize your ads so that they are targeting towards certain demographic groups. So the challenge with the interest though, so like for us with HIV work, there's no target for an interest in HIV. So what we try to do is think about interests that are related to things that we think our followers may be interested in. So they may be interested in faith-related posts. They may be interested in health in general, or healthy eating. They may be interested in R&B and jazz music. So those are things that kind of are a proxy for and help us get at that demographic without specifically saying they're interested in HIV. Okay, so when you download the analytics report, this is what it looks like. I've kind of cleaned it up a little bit, but this is the kind of information that you'll get in your Excel spreadsheet. And so you can analyze and copy and paste the data that you have. So for our funded partners who are on the call, we're expecting you to download these analytics and put them into, we created an Excel spreadsheet for you that like summarizes this stuff over the quarter, the first quarter, or over your quarterly reports. So we're expecting you to download this data and put it into that Excel spreadsheet and upload it with your quarterly report.
Mhm. And fill it out. When you're filling it out, fill it out to the best of your ability. As you can see here, some of these rows are blank for Instagram especially, and that's because at the time, Instagram was not reporting to us in our analytics what the gender and age of our followers were. So we weren't able to fill that category out that particular time, right? But fill it out as much as you can, but just know that you might not be able to find an analytic every time, especially if your pages aren't there.
They're saying they can't hear you. I don't know if it's because you're not next to my computer. We were just saying, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so she was just saying that she's a little bit further away from my computer. So she was just saying that to fill it out the best that you can. As you can see, even in this example, the Instagram followers column or row doesn't have any information, and that's because Instagram wasn't reporting that data to our account. So they don't have that information yet. And so that's okay, but over time that will start to populate. And so just fill it out to the best of your ability. And then this is an example of like drilling down to the specific post. Again, this example of us sharing information about our new hire, Marcus Hawley. And then, this is the caption and all the hashtags, so when you download the report, it automatically downloads the caption in the text that you also added to that post. And then it also downloads all the other information like the link, click, shares, comments, likes, and reactions. Take it away.
Actually, are there any questions about the analytics?
Any questions? Any questions from anyone? Before we move on.
Yes, I have a quick question. I might have missed it, but does this analyze the hashtags at all? Like who found this by hashtag and which hashtag?
Does it? I think let's look a little bit. I think you can get some of that information, but I don't want to answer wrong.
I don't think it really does. It doesn't identify by hashtags. It just lets you know which of your posts got the most people. And you can then, I think, go back and see if those posts had hashtags applied to them.
Yes. Also on Instagram especially, I think maybe on Facebook as well, it will tell you on specific posts how many people found your post via hashtag.
Oh.
So you can see that information.
Can you hear her when she answered that question?
Yes, and thank you for that.
Okay.
No problem. And it won't tell you specifically which hashtag they use to find your post, but it will say, you reached X amount of people from hashtags on your post.
That's interesting because I mean, I know that there are tools out there like hashtag IQ or whatever that will show you kind of the most used hashtags or the most clicked hashtags, but I thought it would be awesome if we knew which ones were working for us in particular. Thank you.
Right.
Well, so the other thing you can do is particularly, I think you can do this on Facebook, but I know you can do it on Instagram. You can type in, go to your search. It's on the bottom menu. In the bottom menu, it's got a little search thing that looks like what do you call those things? A magnifying glass. Why did it go away? It looks like a magnifying glass. And so you can type in the hashtag that you want to search, and it'll allow you to follow that hashtag, and you can see how many posts. So ours has fewer than 100 posts, but I see every single person in an account that's ever used a hashtag. So that's another way for you to quickly get some analytics on that hashtag by following it on Instagram, and it'll show you how many people or accounts have posted using that hashtag. I think you can also do that on Twitter. Okay, so, and we also, I have a tutorial video on the analytics and some articles, since we're just doing quick high level. And then also with our funded partners, we're happy to meet with you all before you submit your quarterly reports to also help you to pull the analytics.
Awesome. Any other questions? All right. So we are going to do a brief run through. There's a question. Okay, I'll respond to that in the chat. We're going to do a brief run through of the social media toolkit that our funded partners have access to.
Everybody has, I think we can share the link to the toolkit with everybody.
Okay, so we'll be sharing the link in a follow-up email after the training with everyone if you don't already have access to it. So some of the assets in the toolkit include different graphic assets like carousels and infographics, rollout graphics, event flyers, that sort of thing. There are also templates. There are Canva templates in the toolkit that you can use to create graphics. There's a guide to the analytics in the toolkit. There's also a guide to social media management in the toolkit. And then the toolkit itself has a navigation guide as well. So I'm gonna stop sharing this and start sharing the toolkit. Just a moment. Okay, so this is the social media toolkit. As you can see, it lives on Google Drive. And so it is a digital toolkit. These are the three main folders. You see the branding guidelines, the graphic assets, and the social media management assets are the three main folders. And then this is the social media toolkit navigation if you need it as you navigate through the toolkit. So I'm going to go to graphic assets here. There is a wealth of graphic content that you can use, that we invite you to use, that we've curated on here, and you can go through and download this content and use it on your social media.
Go a little slower.
Okay, and so this example is a carousel that could go on Instagram. And it's 9 ways faith leaders can transform the story on HIV. And so you can download each one and then post it as one seamless carousel post onto your social media.
And also, you know, back to the previous question or comment, we hosted listening sessions and got feedback and, you know, from people on what they thought their tips were. This is also informed by published research, peer-reviewed manuscripts that talked about tips that came from other faith leaders and how they thought would be best for destigmatizing HIV.
So that's an example of some of the general content that's in here. There are also event graphics. So for instance, our virtual training series, if you want to cross-promote this to your networks, which we encourage you to do, there are graphics such as a lot of you have probably seen this. Our training series schedule is here. And so you can download this graphic and post it to your social media channels. You could send it via email, whatever you would like to do with that content. And we even have next year's series as well. And we even have a carousel that we're rolling out tomorrow. So I want you to pay attention to the fact that we will continue to update this toolkit with different assets and content that you can be using. So coming up this Sunday is National Faith HIV AIDS Awareness Day. And so we want to be promoting that. One of our funded partners has actually done a video that will be live streaming from our Facebook page at 4 p.m. on Sunday called My Faith, My Story. But we want you to stay engaged with the events and be able to share content in a very easy, accessible way, and so that you're not labored with all of these tasks.
So for you all who are not aware, National Faith HIV AIDS Awareness Day is this Sunday, August 29th. Awesome.
All right, so we also have some other we have quote and question graphics. This is, again, a good way to engage folks and increase your engagement on social media. So this is one that you've probably seen us post a couple of times now, and we'll probably post it again as our following grows to try to increase engagement and get the conversation going on some of these things. And so you will see, you know, as you check this toolkit periodically, you will see more quotes and more questions and content populate.
And some of it will be the content that you shared today in the chat.
Absolutely. All right. And then if we go here to social media management assets, we have a guide to social media management for HIV work. And so this is something we had the comment earlier about, working with the comms team. This is something you can walk through with your team, kind of like what we did earlier in the workshop, to go through and plan your social media strategy. We've got some descriptions of the different features of each of the social media sites and platforms. We've got hashtags that we're using that you are also welcome to use, different themes, content ideas. So a lot of what we've covered here, you can go back to this management guide and flesh out for yourself.
Can you go back up really quickly? So right here, we didn't talk about this earlier, but this is also kind of part of the planning out your content and themes, and you can use like puns. So I think some of these are already popular, like Motivation Monday, Tip Tuesday, Wisdom Wednesday, Throwback Thursday, and Follow Friday, or you could do Feature Friday. Those are already hashtags that a lot of organizations, a lot of accounts use. So you can take advantage of those to then think about, okay, this is the content I'm going to post on this day. For Monday, we're going to post motivational quotes. For Tuesday, we'll do the list, like top 5 things to do for XYZ. For Wednesday, we'll share something else, right? And so that's already in the toolkit for you to use and give you examples of how you could organize around those themes.
Awesome. And then there's calendar brainstorm. Our team is in the thick of fleshing out our social media calendar, but it does help to have some of these social media strategies and posts planned out in advance so that you can hit some of your target goals. So that is the social media management guide.
Sorry, I want to add one more thing.
Yes.
I mentioned this about grants and the analytics being useful for grants. It can also, I know a lot of you all do fundraising outside of grants, and it can also be all of these tools you can use for fundraising. Take advantage of your executive director's birthday to do fundraising on Instagram and Facebook. They actually have, you can go through this process of adding your nonprofit account to Facebook and Instagram, and then host direct fundraisers, and Facebook and Instagram will not take a portion of that money at all. It's just totally for you to fundraise. So that's another good way to think about this content.
Awesome. So there's one more thing I wanted to show you before I jump out of this. So templates. So these are for the overachievers. We have included some graphic asset templates in the toolkit. So if you have someone who has a skill in Canva on your team, this is something they can utilize. If you want to build that skill set, then I do invite you to message me because Canva is it's a free platform, and it's extremely easy to use once you go through how to use it. And so they're constantly increasing the features on there. And so you'll be able to be your own graphic designer. So for instance, we have, actually, I'll go to the question template since I hadn't shown that one. So if you click on the template and you have a Canva account, you can click use template, and it will bring you into the Canva website where you can change things around. So if I wanted to change the question, I can click here. I can type a question, and there we go. I have changed, and if I wanted to change, let's see what else I can change right here. Make this shorter, I can do that, right? I can even go as far as changing the picture. And they have a feature where you can search for photos. And so I could change the picture if I wanted to in the background. You can change colors on here, everything else. So if that's something you're interested in, you can contact me and I'm happy to walk you through. If you already have that skill, do know that there are template guides in here that you can use on Canva if you're interested in creating graphics.
I think also, like they may not necessarily want to use our specific templates, but you say you want to use your own branding for your own organization, click on the templates button. So it has flyers that are already formatted. And then what I really did use the COVID-19 ones a lot. And I think they also have some Black Lives Matter posts. And so they do have a lot of diversity in their templates, as well as in their the little people that you can add to it. And you can also change the skin color. So go click on the working from home one. So you could click on that person and then change the color to something more diverse than white. Yeah. So you can edit the images on there as well. And you can also reformat them for different sizes. So maybe you want it for the Twitter banner or the Facebook banner, the Instagram profile picture, the Instagram post, Instagram stories. So it automatically, the free version, you'd have to redo it every time. If you pay for Canva, you can just click on the resize and it'll redo it for you automatically.
Yep. All right. I see we are getting some questions in the chat about Canva and Hootsuite.
Yeah, so a question was asked, what are some other tools in addition to Hootsuite? What is the best one or better ones for scheduling posts?
I don't think you even really need Hootsuite, to be honest, because Facebook is basically competing with Hootsuite right now to allow you to schedule out posts through Facebook Business. You could pay for Hootsuite, but I mean, the biggest platforms right now are, the benefit of Hootsuite is that you can add in your Twitter account as well and manage Twitter and we didn't really go too deeply into Twitter, but you can manage all of them at the same time. But Facebook and Instagram are together, so you can use that free platform that Facebook offers to do a lot without having to pay for Hootsuite. The difference with Twitter, and I wanted to mention this, was that Twitter is, it's only 140 or 120 characters. So it's very short. You can't put a lot in one post. But I like to think of it as text message or a group chat, but with a lot of people. So you can still use that hashtag to join a conversation. So there's some hashtags that are really popular right now: Black and STEM, Black Twitter. They have some on, I don't know, just whatever, hip hop and education, hip hop ed, like that, a bunch of those that you can join and start joining the conversation and thinking about multiple streams of tweets rather than just trying to think about fitting a bunch of information into one tweet. You just want to think about it as a series of text messages. So what we try to do and are planning to do is host Twitter chats where we'll invite people, our followers, to join Twitter on a certain day and time, and we'll have a topic. And then we may invite someone who has a large Twitter following to join and help boost those tweets and join the conversation. So say, for example, in the past, I've had Mark Anthony Neal, who works at Duke, and he's been on a lot of stuff, been on BT, been on CNN, all this stuff. So I invited him to join a conversation about HIV testing day. And then he joined it, and he has 50,000 followers on Twitter. So he tweets one thing and it just boost the entire chat, right? So that's one thing you could do. Is say maybe there's somebody in your network who has a large following, or you could do some cold invitations, or even ask us and we can help find people if it's like a certain day or something like that, like National Faith HIV Day. Or if you're having a meeting, like we mentioned, you can use Twitter to like have people to take notes and tweet about things that they're learning in the conversation on Twitter to keep that conversation going and to boost your event. Yeah, I like this this comment about posting directly on your accounts is better because you can format your posts exactly as you like, whereas Hootsuite and other scheduling apps are lacking a bit in that area. I think if you go directly to the business Facebook, it does allow you to format them in the way that works well for Facebook and Instagram. So that's the benefit of using that platform.
Awesome. Are there other questions? We are toward the end of our presentation. So are there other questions?
And feel free, you don't have to just put it in the chat. Feel free to jump in with audio. All right, looks like everybody is ready to go, I guess.
Well, with that, we do have an exit survey that we would like for you to complete before you leave. And I am going to put the link here in the chat.
So please click on this link, take the survey. It's the same 4 questions as well as just some basic demographic. We use that so that we can show that we did a good job. So please click on this link and answer the survey before you leave. And if you have any questions or want to get in contact with us, feel free to, and yes, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, Faith Compass WFU. You can also email us, compass@wfu.edu. And that goes to myself, Demi, and Marcus. So we'll all 3 see it. Are you typing it? Okay. All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you so much.